Hey, gang. Happy New Year. Another rough start. What do you know? Seconds before coming live, I hear my dog barking outside. And so, yeah, that's not going to happen. Grabbed her ass and brought her in. That's just one of them. Let's get camera two on here. Oh, camera two needs to be on. It's kind of important. There we go. All right, gang. Happy New Year. Well, that's an overlay. That's why it's not. I had a overlay and a preview on my camera. That's why that's happening. Oh, yeah, some things I guess aren't going to change in the new year, are they? 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. Happy New Year. I didn't get to see anything last night. I make dinner for the dogs and me. I vacuumed my car. I guess there's some certain things that I do, including, better prep for today and other shows. There's some certain things that I do really intend on improving on. And the maintenance and upkeep of my car, now that it's going to get wrapped into the Mastiff Media minivan. Coffee sip. Now that it's going to be wrapped and is like my work vehicle, I vacuumed it out thoroughly yesterday afternoon, while my buddy Joe, yesterday's recipient of Pierre's pot, replaced the front struts. And so now that's in much better shape. And where was I going with that? So yeah, my car's vacuumed. I've got some other things working on the house. Today, Joe's coming back. And on New Year's Day, we're going to work on my jet skis. And I'm going to get my ass back out in the water. I'm kind of excited for that. I'm a little too close here. That's better. A little too close on the camera. But yeah, so there's things that I'm getting control of the depression and the anxiety. I haven't had an actual attack in a while. I thought I was going to over Christmas. I took a small pharmacy of clonazepam with me to Pennsylvania and didn't use one of them. And there were plenty of opportunities for it to develop into that. But Fadia on Chatter, if you want to say hello to people, I invited you to the stage. For everybody else, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, we're on different platforms. We're not just on the radio. We're not just on video. We're on this new social audio platform that actually also has video. Do you see the issue with technology today? My camera just went out and came back on. That's a cable. I figured that out. But I'm a radio show, right? That's on social media with a camera and audio and so many other different platforms. This new social audio platform that I'm a big fan of, it's called Chatter, and it's still in beta. Message me. I'll put my email on the screen, or the general email, the community email that my staff and I have. And my God, where is it? There we go. Hit me up if you want to get a tryout for it. News, NEWZ, at yergz.com, YERGZ.com. And I'll send you an invite. I think right now you have to be an iPhone user. God, I get up, I gargle, I drink water. I do all that to like clear up so that I'm not hacking when I'm on the air. And I know coffee and caffeine ain't exactly a good idea, but I mean, come on. Pierre Robert drank coffee every day in the air since 1981. And he's still going. But chatter is something I'm taking in with me, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What are we leaving behind in 2024? Leaving it in 2024. And what are we taking with us into 2025? The business model of not being in radio, but being in broadcasting. That's what I have a show. I'm getting out of the habit of telling people that I have a radio show. What I tell them, and what I'm trying to tell them, is that I have a show. That's it. And then I let that develop into the additional conversation. So I can say that it's on the radio, both terrestrial and internet, and that it's also on social media and social audio. And kind of, I guess because it's on social media that has video, it's 11/11 on 1/1, 11:11 a.m. and Eastern anyway. And by the way, we are supposed to also be starting on K-Shop today, but the general manager is out. And I'm wondering, I could actually let that in. I'm going to check into K-Shop, KSHP in Las Vegas. I've got the email for the program director, and I've just kind of let it go this week. It's still a holiday. I'm not gonna, if they don't have me on yet, I'm not going to raise a huge stink. But one of the things I could never figure out with the site is how to listen. But yet we're supposedly on now. There we go. Moment of truth. Nope. Something else is going on in that spot. I don't even know what the hell. Like, if we bought that spot, what do they have playing instead of us? I just hope this is not indicative of what it's going to be like there. But yeah, supposed to be on in K-Shop. We are on Fridays, but programming schedule. Is this the one that doesn't have that? And that was Chicago. So programming schedule. There's nothing here. Oh, there we go. So it says up the middle. Wednesdays at 8 a.m. I don't know what the hell. There we go. Their website is not exactly mobile friendly. Up the middle, Wednesday and Friday. And there's something called the Radio Shopping Show at 9. But we follow Race Day Las Vegas. Oh, that's cool. That's got to be a good show to follow out there. That's awesome. All right. So, well, I'll put a call in, figure out what's going on. Not really gonna blow 45 fuses when there we go. So moving into 2025, one of the things that really influenced me to start making decisions like this was my recent trip home to Pennsylvania. 2 brothers, 2 sisters-in-law, a niece and a nephew did not say boo to me the entire time I was there. And I inserted myself in the conversations where it was even possible. But I mean, you would think with everything we've been going through down here with the hurricanes, they would have at least asked how things are going. They're both in construction. One's a VP at a big company in DC and Tampa. The other one's a general contractor. They both said they'd help. Now they're busy. I don't know. But that's what I told my parents, was that I'm not coming back next year. I'm not coming up for Thanksgiving. I'm not coming up for Christmas to sit there and have no interaction with anybody. And especially when by that time, this is going to be, it's probably not going to be finished in a year from now. But it's going to be so much further along. It's going to mean so much to me because of what was lost and what could have been lost in addition. When my dad's family had pissing matches as a kid, he told us, right here is all we need. My 2 brothers, me, of course, and both he and Mom. And you'd think they would have remembered that. That would have stuck with them. Like, why does it stick with me and not them? And now I needed them. And they're busy. Dad's not busy. He frees up his schedule. Mom is begging to come down and meet her granddog, her second granddog. Right, mates? Your little sister. So I don't get it. And I'm going to have Mom and Dad down again. I'm going to send Dad a message with a list of stuff that he and I can do before any of the other structural engineers or anything like that get involved. Stuff, for on the first floor. And yeah, I'm done. And when they come down, we're going to have the conversation. I'm like, I know we alternate the 2 major holidays. This year, it was we all get together for Christmas and we go to our spouses' families for Thanksgiving. Well, I don't know why, but Brooke called this, my niece called this early Thanksgiving dinner that I flew up there for, to also be ignored, to turn around and come back in a month, a little over a month, and really go through the same thing. So when mom and dad come down, we're going to have that conversation. You're in your 70s. The next time we are together, we're going to go over your wills in your presence so that when whoever you have decided to handle it already knows how to handle it. And the other two are already in on it. And then secondly, I'm not spending the money to go up and there to talk to people that I don't want to talk to if they don't want to talk to me. When I can have mom and dad come down here, much better weather, they can bring whoever. Their second trip down was in the spring of 2022. That's 6 months after I moved here. They brought my Uncle Bo and Aunt Lori. And we went to Philly spring training. I did all kinds of other stuff for like a week. You know, why would you rather not do that? And if Randy, my brother, and Ryan and their families want to come down, they're always welcome. But I'm not doing this anymore. They can come to me now. That's it. And it was that I really decided that it was time to pick what was staying back in 2024 and what was coming with me or starting in 2025. And I guess I got to use it today. I was going to save it for Monday because I was actually going to use it this past Monday. Maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. It's or maybe I'll just save that segment for when I'm not with Jane. And we can just talk about still what we're doing in, moving into each one and whatever. But for today's morning motivation, guy who used to consult me when I was considering, and I still actually am considering it. I'm still considering it. It's just that a little tied up right now. And that's this guy right here. Anthony Melchiori was the host. I don't think this show has been on the air in 10 years. And apparently he still gets, hey, when's the next season of, Hotel Impossible coming on? It's like, it's not coming on. It doesn't really. I'm just playing with the graphics again, but it's not. And he gets asked this all the time, and he's like, "Yeah, no, dude, it's over. Show's over." But it's what he was really known for. What made him, brought him from a lot of respect within the hospitality community, and he made him actually famous and recognizable as a public figure, as the host of Hotel Impossible from the Travel Channel. And his quote is, "I don't make resolutions, I make plans." And that's what I want to make clear about today. is that I'm not saying that I'm going to go back to the gym and then finally quit. I've been doing a lot of things here in the house to get physically fit again. I've got the online trainer and that going. And I could get a trainer at Momentum Fitness, one of our sponsors, one of our affiliates. So obviously this one was done on 25/01/01. When I open up one of the files like that I use for the show, I change the name and I put the date that I used that file at the end of the file, so that now Anthony Melchiori 01 now says Anthony Melchiori 01 space 25/01/01. That stands for 2025 January 1st. That's when I last used this particular photo. Probably ain't going to use this one again for another year, because that's when you talk about New Year's resolutions. But I mean, yeah, I know what he's saying here, and that's why it's relevant to me. And that is, so many people make a New Year's resolution and it lasts all of like a week before they're back to eating potato chips, or not back at the gym anymore, or back to smoking, or whatever. And I did the same thing. I've got to-do lists all over the place. I've got alarms on my phone that go off during the day. I'll tell you this story too, I guess. When I first started using a smartphone, one of the first ones I used, I was still out in San Francisco. And my newest personal phone, my first smartphone, was called the Treo. Treo. It was made by Palm, a company called Palm. Remember the Palm Pilot? That data personal assistant? That did not have data. It was just in your hand and nothing went beyond your hand. That was the downfall of the Palm Pilot. So they created the Treo, which was the competitor to another company called RIM. Stands for Research in Motion. That is the company that made the BlackBerry. And the thing about the BlackBerry and the Treo was that they each had a physical keyboard on the device. It was not on a touch screen like pretty much any smartphone is today. And I was on that so much that I wore out the keys for my password. And when I would finally go to enter, this happened after I moved from San Francisco to DC. I remember the intersection I was sitting at. I don't remember the cross street. I remember the cross street. I just don't remember the name of it. But I was turning left and heading north on the Sherman, which down to the right, it must have been like B Street. TU, yeah, because down to the right, to the south, was U Street, where Sherman becomes 9th. And on that southwest corner was Nellie's Sports Bar. Still is. But I was sitting facing east, about to turn left and head north and go home to my townhouse up in Parkview. And I was sitting at the light and I go to enter it, and nothing. I entered again, nothing. And figured out that the keys, because I've always had the same password the entire time I had that phone, wore out. So I switched to, that's when I made another big switch to Apple. I already made the computer switch. My desktop at home, because one guy was seeing, his friend worked at Apple. And I don't mean like at the store, I mean at Apple. And so I used his employee discount to buy my first Mac. Now, get an iPhone. I'll be getting an iPhone, and we'll be able to sync that with my Mac. Cool, right? Those were back in the days when you actually had to plug it into the Mac to sync it. Oh, remember that? And I'm sitting on my bed. The iPhone, I still use an iPhone to this day. The iPhone has this tablet feature, Notepad. You can create your own. I've got like a stack of tablets, in this thing, because I have a notepad for each different subject that I take notes on. One is a to-do list. And I remember I would go to bed, and before I crawled in the bed, I'd be sitting there leaning up against my bed, which was very high at the time. And I would write down on that things I need to do the next day. And I remember the one night that I went to write down things for tomorrow. And I looked at it, and there were all the things I was supposed to do today that I never touched. It's like, well, what good is this? And so that's when I opened up the clock feature and set a timer. Okay, tomorrow I work day shift, 5 to 1 in the I don't know, protection. I was probably still in Hillary. So say I work 5 to 1 day shift. I'll have free time after 2 o'clock once I get home. Gym, this, that, and the other thing. Okay, from here to here is when I'm going to do stuff on, I almost said the S word, do stuff on my to-do list. And so now I set alarms. I've got, I think I counted, I might have gotten rid of some of them, but I've got more than like 27 alarms that go off during the course of the day, from waking me up, saying, okay, it's time to go for a morning walk and, get out and get some AM cardio before I eat anything. Time to get ready for the show at 10:57 or 10:58, something like that. It says, time to go live. It's by that point, my pre-show checklist better be done because it's time to go live. The video goes live, and that just sits there on a screen until I'm ready to go live on the radio and everything else, and then time to go. And I think there's like 27 alarms now that go off. One is like an AM to-do list period. The other one's for later in the evening. And so I never made, I probably made New Year's resolutions as a kid, because we did that in class. The teacher would go around and say, okay, what do you want to do for the rest of the school year? Belch into a microphone. But I just never made sense to me, because everybody, I loved sitting back and watching. One of the things I remember through my school days was just sitting back in the hallway and just watching people walking back and forth before class, before homeroom. And I just watch all the cool kids trying to be cool, and how they kind of like blatantly don't trust each other. because they know somebody's going to try to outcool them and stab them in the back. I'm like, that's not a friendship. And that's not something I'm taking with me. I can probably count on one hand the number of people that I can really, truly rely on. And right now, I probably don't need the full hand. I've got neighbors that have left me down, family members. I'm like, 2024, you're staying back and not bringing you. I got to take a quick break. When we come back, Pierre's pot, a little bit more about making resolutions and not plans, and what we're going to do moving into 2025. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. It's New Year's Day. We're going up the middle. We'll be back right after this. Friday Fights. Hey, gang, it's Yergs. Every Friday at Up the Middle, we add co-host Matt Deemer, a Democrat from Ohio and host of Daily Crypto News, and co-host Blake Fisher, a Republican from Oklahoma and host of The Homeless Conservative. Join us as we slug it out over Trump, MAGA, and wokeness during Friday's Up the Middle Friday Fights. Politics for the rest of us. 8 a.m.
Hey gang, does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergs Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel.
All right. So before the break, we were talking about making plans, not resolutions, but just got to tell you about some of these others quick. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Oh, that poor dog. Matrix, my older dog, has GI issues, and sometimes there's nothing he can do. I just want to hug him. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. I might have to go there later today. It's so cliche to go there today, though. But is that an excuse? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Call me, 1-888-88-YERGS. Let me know if I'm a pussy or if I need to just get off my fat ass and get into the gym today as part of the plan, not as some bullshit resolution. That's not what we do. That's the whole point of today's show. But Momentum Fitness and Wellness, that's been my gym since I moved to the Tampa area. It's very welcoming for everybody. Yet if you're one of those hardcore guys that likes to train with your shirt off, have at it. There's plenty of free weights, cables. I don't know what the actual brand is, but like Hammer Strength or Nautilus, where you put the plate on the machine and it moves in like that perfect with, your body, the natural movement. Really good equipment. They keep up on it. When I was doing this commercial live earlier this fall, I was saying how, I forget what word I was using, but I was saying something like refurbished. What the hell is, I'm hearing this sound and somebody's using their boat lift. And I just, in retrospect, whatever I was using during the live commercial that I do for them, and this is something you need to do because we're growing with our number of stations. I talked about that earlier. We're supposed to be on K-Shop today, and their schedule says that we are. We're growing. Even if you don't have a national company, we have geofencing now. We can do a commercial for you on Yerg's Radio and on this show that only goes to a certain area. And that's what we'll bill you for. Okay, put the thing in the water already. Because the first thing I did, I looked at my phone to see if an alarm was going off. I've got a window open, and that's why I can still hear this. It's a boat lift. I can tell it's the gears and the motor on a boat lift. Anyway, Momentum Fitness and Wellness maintains their equipment. Does so well at maintaining their equipment. I think that's the best verbiage. It's not like it gets worn out and old and they got to replace it or it breaks down, or they maintain it. They fix it before it breaks. That's how I want to say it. And it's all up-to-date equipment. It's a great workout space. It's grown. They've taken over the pet store that was next door to them. And now they have a dedicated stretching area. Cold. I'm not into this part, but I know this is like the newest thing in fitness is this cold plunge thing where you get in like a tank of cold water and your balls shrivel up. Mine are, no, I'm handicapped already. Why do you think I'm the Howard Stern of politics? But they also have a sauna, so that's good. You can thaw them out after. But they're in a strip mall. And they're at the end of the strip mall. But you know how behind the strip mall is like where all the delivery trucks go? They're at the dead end of that area, meaning that it doesn't go all the way around the building. You got to enter the rear parking area only at one end of the building, and it's the other end. So because they don't get deliveries like a grocery store might or some other bigger retail store, they use their back area as an outdoor training area. It's brilliant. And they do a lot of CrossFit type stuff. They got like AstroTurf and they have those big ass tractor tires that, you move. And I guess that's, like for the motion and stuff, because I kind of figure, once you move it, you moved it. Why are you going to move it again? But I mean, that's why you do the repetition. I'm just really happy for the dude. Anthony's really a cool guy and has worked with me to get me this affiliate membership. And, I work out there for free, and he's the one making out on it with what it costs to do a commercial versus what it costs for a year membership that I'm not using until now. He's the one making out. But yeah, Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Check that out. It's on US 19 in Jasmine Estates and Bayonet Point. Those are the neighborhoods. I think the actual address, I know the actual address is Port Richey, but it's right outside of Hudson. So to give you an idea, on 19 where it's at, it's not hard to get to. If you prefer to use the turnpike to come up from anywhere in the south or down from the north, that's easy as well, or Little Road, and then come west on 52 and just about a mile south of 52 and 19. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. To sign up, just go to momentumfitnessandwellness.com or go to the location It's in the same, I shouldn't use this as a landmark, but it's in the same on 19 as the Arby's. Don't eat there. And you can just walk right up to the door. And even if Anthony's not there, it's a 24-hour place. So walk right up to the door and scan the QR code that's in the window. And you can sign up right there. You're standing right at the door. And then get in. And you're good. But I'm pretty certain. I say we all got a guy. And in fitness, Anthony's mine. Tell him Jurg sent you. I know you're going to get some other deal. Because he's really trying to get the word out that his facility is so much better than Planet Fitness and Family Fitness or whatever the hell there's so many chains that are popping up that it's just the same thing as the other place. And I get that the similarity from one location to the other is important, especially for people that travel. I used to be a member of corporate gyms like that, and it was a huge benefit to know that what I was using at home was what I was going to use in New York when I was up in New York with Hillary Clinton. That was key. But also, they don't think outside the box with things like the cold plunge or multiple types of training, such as the free weights and the CrossFit. He does it all. He's got trainers and he's got dietitians, probably the bigger issue. So yeah, go to momentumfitnessandwellness.com. Tell him Jurg sent you. Get your fat ass out of a chair. All right, so in the 15 minutes we got left, we got to talk about Pierre's pot. I got to do that. Where's my graphic? Where is it? Oh, there we go. There's so much that, Anyway. So Pierre Robert is a DJ in Philadelphia that I've always had a following and admiration for. I can't use both of them, can I? No. Nope. He's been in Philadelphia since 1981. I was 9 in 1981. And he's been at 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia. And he's like 69 or 79 years old. He's my parents' age, a little younger than my parents. Same station, his entire career. Was from the San Francisco Bay Area. When I moved to San Francisco from Philly, I wrote him on the website. He wrote me this long email back. It was so cool. Go here, don't go there. It's a tourist trap, that kind of thing. He left his job, his radio job in San Francisco because they switched to country. And he even tried it. He created another persona. He didn't go by Pierre Robert. And he's just like, no, this is just not me. I can't do this. And so he quits his job in radio in San Francisco. And his buddy says to him, hey, I start college. Do you want to drive me to Philadelphia? And I don't know if the guy was at Penn or Temple or whatever, but it was somewhere in the city or Philly area. What, baby? You got to go outside. Is that what you're coming to bug me while I'm still doing the show? And so while he's there, this, I don't know if I ever told Mars the story, but while he's there, he's down. I think the story I read, he was down on South Street, which is like one of the touristy areas of Philadelphia, and the hipster and all that weird kind of stuff. And he goes and he talks to a psychic who says he needs to hurry home. There's a letter waiting for him. So he does. He gets back to his friend's place. and he begins packing to drive back to San Francisco. When his friend walks in and says, "Hey, this came for you." And it was a letter from Joe Bonadonna, the general manager or program director, I don't remember which, from 93.3 WMMR, the station where he already submitted a tape, where they already said no. They said they were going to reconsider. Could you come in for an interview? And the rest is literally rock history. He's been there ever since. So what he does during the course of his show, this is totally stolen from him, by the way. This is not an original thought in my body. What he does is when he talks to us about somebody, he does a toast of the morning sauce. So here it is. Oh, I need coffee and my dog. One of the mugs from philipblackett.com. Buyblackett.com/Yergs. We'll talk about that in a second. So today's toast of the morning sauce in the direction of a good citizen. And that is, I had it. I don't even remember who it is now. I was going to cheer somebody. It's Anthony from, that's why I talked about Momentum Fitness and Wellness for so long. It's Anthony who's getting my fat ass out of a chair as part of a plan and not a resolution. I think I got to take one more break because this little thing at my feet is wanting to go outside. So 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Master Media Network. When we come back, more plans for 2025. We'll be back after this. Video clips. There we go.
Hey, gang, it's Yergs. Do you have a podcast? Of course you do. It's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. Well, I got something for you. Flowsend.ai. All you do is take your pre-recorded data, click, drag, and drop right into the inbox for Flowsend AI. Click a button, and out comes everything that you're going to need. From the transcript to content, such as keywords, titles for your episode, the timeline, posts for LinkedIn, posts for Twitter, Instagram, other smaller platforms, all the things that it takes you hours to do in literally minutes. So go to flowsend.ai. Tell them Yerg sent you and get your subscription today. Worth every penny. Flowsend.ai.
All right. So, there she goes. Oh, she's killing me. And listening to Matrix having to do that hacking kills me too. We're going to go for a good walk after the show, about 7 minutes. So moving into 99.1, that is coming to its first anniversary next month. So there's another boatload of money I got to shell out for another year. Anyway, that's 6 out of the 7 hours of this show is covered by 99.1. All 2 hours on Monday, 1 hour Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hey, Papa's on the radio here. What are you doing? You're being naughty today. Part of her tail looks swollen. I think I'm hearing other dogs out there too, which obviously doesn't help matters. But what is she barking at? Get in here, both of you. Lie down. Matrix is not feeling well. I can see it. You lay down. She's hiding under the desk now. I don't know. Somebody might have yelled at her or something. Come here, you. Come up to daddy. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Say hello. Get on camera. No, don't lick the microphone. Yeah, a little bit of a relaxed show today. So into 2025. Now stop it. Into 2025. One of the things I'm looking at, I talked with a station out in San Francisco earlier this week, and they sent me a bunch of their technical stuff. Not only are they their own broadcaster, what I mean by that is we get on the air through a company called BR Logic. That's how we're on the internet radio. And with the server, I'm just wondering if we could just rent server space, buy server space, do something like that, where we're not tying up my computer here, the speed and memory and things, but do it on a server. Settle. And just cut those prices. Cut out BR Logic. Cut out Restream. Incorporate Mix into the server and create a user interface that does all three. Oh, yeah, because that screen there has Restream, where we broadcast video with audio, of course, to different social media platforms. Up there is Chatter and Discord. Separate, totally separate. I mean, it's the same thing. It's still video and audio, but separate. They're not capable to do so on Restream. Over there on that side of that same monitor is Mix, MIXX. It's a program we use to get on the radio. That's internet radio. We have another one that we use for terrestrial radio. And if we can just take all those different protocols, put it on one user interface, and create, a very easy user experience, and just be done. And make it affordable. And not just, I talked to a company that does some of those, but it's like thousands of dollars a month. And if mainstream media is going to become more independent, and I was watching a podcast episode from Think Media, Sean Cannell and a company called Think Media. He's the guy who literally wrote the book. I know that's usually an expression. When you know a lot about something, they say, "Oh, that guy wrote the book about whatever." No, Sean Cannell literally wrote the book about YouTube. And when he did his first one about it, YouTube got a hold of it and went, "This is pretty good." So they kind of took him under his wing and said, "Hey, why don't you come with us?" And now anytime they need to drop, new information about YouTube, they do it very much so through him. In addition to the fact he's built a huge business, on teaching people how to succeed on YouTube. So we're going to lose 99.1 WDJY. We're on Yergz Radio. I'll wrap up there. Go to Yergz, YERGZ, radio.com and listen to us there. Same thing with America One Radio. We'll see you both tomorrow for Up the Middle, just me. Today was Up the Middle translating Trump, although we didn't really talk too much about Trump, thank God. Philip Blackett will be back next week. The other guys will be back on Friday for Friday Fights. And until then, we'll finish the story in a minute, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. If we don't see you on the other side, go to yergsradio.com and pick up with us there. And then we'll see you in a little bit. Oh, that went right on. Oh, that was so cool. I timed that so good. See, now we lose 99.1 at that point, and we also lose America One Radio, although they do it on a different feed. So that's much more automatic. But yeah, so what was I saying? Damn it. What the hell was I saying? Ken, where are you at, man? I need you to rescue me. He's not in the chat today. Oh, damn. What was I talking about? That sucks. Oh, with what we want to do in 2025. So Sportcat, his son is pretty, tech savvy. I've got a neighbor who wants to redo two of my websites. I've got another potential partner in John Kersey who wants to do them. I'm doing episodes for How to Podcast. And so 2025 is going to be busy. It's no easier than what it is right now. And I crashed. This was my New Year's Eve. I spend the afternoon with Joe, who was yesterday's recipient of Pierre's Pod. I spend the afternoon with him. I'm vacuuming out my car while he is changing out the struts on the front of my minivan. Back in July, when I was heading down to WMNF in Tampa to go on the big gay radio show, I got in an accident. I hit a curb, and there was the right. I'm turning off at 52 to get onto the turnpike to head down towards the city, and my GPS says use the right lane to exit onto the turnpike, whatever that 589 I think it is. And I get into the right-hand lane, but I get in too early. And this right-hand lane that I'm in right now is going to end. But it doesn't end onto a shoulder. It ends onto a sidewalk. And suddenly, there's a curb dead straight ahead. I veer off back into the new right lane, into one of the middle lanes, not in time. And I blow 2 tires, ding 2 rims, whole 9 yards. And in the process, I severely enough damage the right front strut on my minivan. And so when I get the tires repaired, I don't make the show. Now the next couple of days, I got to get my van fixed because I got to get groceries. I got to, what if the dogs get sick? I got to take them to the vet, whatever. I'm a 1-car family. And I get that fixed. By the end of the weekend, I'm ready to go. But, and that's with 2 new rims ordered, whole 9 yards. I got them through Walmart, by the way. But as I'm driving, I hear this rubbing sound. I take it back. They tell me it's the struts. Their estimate to fix that is another $1,000 plus alignment. I get to talk, and this was back in July. Now it's December. Finally get that done. I get to talk to my buddy Joe, who's the one that does it. And one of the things he told me yesterday, I told him about the alignment. He said, I can't do the alignment because I don't have the equipment for that. You have to go to a bigger mechanic shop for that. But we get talking about it again yesterday, and he says, you don't need to do an alignment. Not on struts. That's bolted on or bolted off, or that's it. The alignment's on the actual wheel itself. I'm like, seriously? So he replaces the struts. And we take it for a test drive because I got to pay him. And so we're going to go to an ATM. I'm going to get cash. I already bought using his discount at O'Reilly's, where he also saved me a couple $100. Seriously, could have been more than $500 out the door for each of the two struts. It was $331 out the door for both because I got to use his discount. And this dog is still sitting on my lap. And then the time, I said, what do you charge? And he says, well, you're a good friend, so $50 an hour. We had it done in 3 hours. So 300, we'll round down just to keep the math easy, plus 150, $450. I gave him $500 to do both struts. That was half of the estimate given to me by the shop that I got my tires at. Plus, they told me I would need an alignment. He said, no, you don't need that. So we get in to take a test drive as I go to an ATM down the street to get him some money. I drove the whole way after I made the right turn onto the street for a mile from my house, from that intersection to the gas station out on Route 19. It's a mile straight shot. Actually, there's a little bit of the road weaves a little bit to the right or left. It's not a total straight shot, but you don't turn off the road. No hands. No hands. It took the turns without me. And I don't have that feature where I can hands-free driving or whatever. That just scares me. Maybe I'm too old school. I like to think that I'm progressive enough to accept today's technology. No, not driving, not yet. That's just asking for trouble, especially when somebody else makes the mistake, not you, not your car. Hi, baby. She's got her head on my chest, looking up at me, saying, my daddy's talking to somebody, and it's not anybody here. Who's he talking to? So I'm just thinking about the station. No alignment, by the way. That's where all that's going. And Joe's coming back today. We're going to work on the jet skis. Oh, you are not a lap dog anymore. So we're going to work on the jet skis today. But for radio, for broadcasting, it's not just radio anymore. I'm really thinking about starting out with renting server space at like GoDaddy or Bluehost or something like that. and putting this list of equipment, these different programs, what are called protocols, on the server, create a new station, and see if we can broadcast with it. And if that's the case, then it's time to go crazy. And yeah, you got to spend money to make money. I've always said that. Other successful entrepreneurs have said that before me. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But ultimately, at a minimum, we are expanding Yerg's Radio and Up the Middle. We are postponing our expansion to Chicago because I need to bring in ad revenue first. As a result of that, because we're not spending as much money by moving to Chicago, we're going to spend some of that money in Vegas, where we're supposed to be today and haven't been. So we'll let the general manager get back from his cruise. We'll be back there next week because the contract was actually supposed to start the week of Friday the 3rd. Well, it was the week, and when we did the math for it, that included today. But it didn't include today. So he's got a freebie coming for me somewhere. Maybe we'll take it out of the money that we'll use to buy Mondays and be there 3 days a week. So, yeah. Both sides now moving to Vegas. I told that to Jane on Monday. And she actually likes Vegas. So, and she's got friends in Atlanta. So she tells them to listen. She doesn't know anybody in Vegas, and that's one of the reasons why she likes it. I thought that was funny. Well, what happens in Vegas stays with Vegas. You know those retired English teachers, wild bunch they are. All right, everybody. I am going to take these dogs for a walk, get some lunch, get ready for Joe, who's probably still sound asleep, and start my New Year's Day. You do the same. Thanks for joining. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll just be me for Up the Middle. We don't have a sub name for the Tuesday or Thursday show, but I will be here anyway. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for running with the big dogs. Thanks for going with us up the middle. Remember, make plans, not resolutions. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, here's the QR code for Philip. buyblacket.com/Yergs. Get your mugs, your shirts, really good stuff. Got 2 cool coffee mugs for a really good price. And you get a discount by using that QR code on the screen, or you can simply go to buyblacket.com/Yergs. Use the /Yergs. You always got to use our affiliate links to get the discounts. So buyblacket, BLACKETT.com/Yergs. Get your coffee mugs, get your shirts, get whatever you need. And we'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Where's the music? Didn't I have music on here? Oh, son of a bitch. Well, let's play this.
The average radio listener listens for 18 minutes. The average
Yergs.
fan listens for, are you ready for this? An hour and 20 minutes.
How can that be?
Answer most commonly given. I want to see what he'll say next.
All right, okay, fine. But what about the people who hate?
Yergs.
Good point. The average skater listens for 2.5 hours a day.
Look, but if they hate him, why do they listen?
Most common.
You've changed. You know that?
Yes, I suppose I have.
How about this? Peace, love, dope!
Happy New Year, everybody.
Wake up, goddammit!